Hello and welcome to the SUSE Linux Enterprise Roadmap session, The Future of Operating System. My name is Kai Dubke. I'm Senior Product Manager at SUSE, responsible as Outbound Product Manager for SUSE Linux Enterprise. There are some other related presentations where topics might be covered you are looking for. Just download this presentation and you get this list as part of it, and then look it up. You're welcome to visit these presentations and watch the content. Let me begin with what SUSE Linux Enterprise is. So just look at the bottom of it where we have the three pillars listed we are working with. When we are doing SUSE Linux Enterprise, we have these three major pillars: simplifying multimodal IT, modernize the traditional infrastructure, and accelerate innovation. And whatever we do, we always balance and bring this together to give you a unique SUSE Linux Enterprise experience. We give you the most up-to-date stuff we can give you, which at the same time helps you to modernize and simplify. Sometimes you might look into stuff which is not available yet because it's too new, too much up-to-date. It might be not stable or so. Or sometimes stuff which even might use to simplify something might be a step back in the innovation. So we cannot bring it to you because it's not fitting these three pillars. Based on this, we create a SUSE Linux Enterprise portfolio. You might know about this already, just as a reminder. In the green box, you have the SUSE Linux Enterprise products. That is server, desktop products, but also server extensions. There are many other SUSE products available, offerings available, but when we talk about SUSE Linux Enterprise, we are focusing on the products in the green box. When we are talking about SUSE Linux Enterprise, we are setting themes. And just to tell you about the themes we set for the current version, that is SUSE Linux Enterprise 15, that is a list of these themes, and I will go through all of them in the following slides to give you a deep insight into that. The first theme is a multimodal OS requirement. When you look into today's operating systems, then you might see the same we see, that there is a difference between the traditional infrastructure, where usually SUSE Linux Enterprise Server is located, and the software-defined infrastructure with specific products to use. The difference is that the traditional infrastructure is using a generic approach. Means we have a generic operating system which can be used for a lot of different use cases. We don't know what you are running on top of a SUSE Linux Enterprise server. On the other side, in the software-defined infrastructure, we see single use case, multiple systems. Means one system is intended for a single use case. And when you want to run multiple use case, you need multiple systems. We at SUSE have brought a so-called common code base to make both together possible. Because by the common code base, as shown on this picture, we can address both the traditional infrastructure pieces as well as the software-defined stuff to bring it to you. And that makes us more agile, more active to provide what's needed for the market. Of course, based on the common code base, you get the SUSE Linux Enterprise products, a traditional server product, a SAP product, and so on. But you also get specific products like a SUSE Enterprise Storage or containers, a service application platform, or even the cloud application platform. All of this is connected in the common code base. Think about packages like a kernel or Apache web server. By the common code base, we use the same kernel for various products. We use the same Apache for various products, which makes it much easier to patch, to deploy, to maintain, and make sure it's really working well. All of this we bring to you as products, right? Products consist of modules. A module consists of packages. Yeah. So when you think about these modules, then we group packages into modules to give you a common area, like a base system module in the top left corner of this diagram. And this base system is something we use for quite a lot of products. Doesn't matter if this is a desktop offering or if this is a server offering. Then on top of this, we have specific modules addressing specific needs, like server needs, like needs for the workstation desktop need, or even for the extensions, the high availability module, which brings you the product of the SUSE Linux Enterprise high availability extension. These together makes it easy for us to group stuff, makes it easy for you to use what really is needed and pick modules as you go. To use this, we have a so-called unified installer. The unified installer is a tool to install SUSE Linux Enterprise products with a single media instead of what we did in the past, multiple media, sometimes multiple media per product. Meanwhile, it also includes SUSE Manager and point of service products. It consists of two different media. One media for online installation, where we believe every server today has a network connection and can be set up via the network connection, and also a full media for an offline setup. With both together, you can create quite some different installation scenarios, starting with an online experience, which, as said, we believe is what most customers do today, installing directly by the SUSE Customer Center or using a proxy in between, be it an RMT, SMT, or SUSE Manager. However, in some setups, you want to go in a disconnected way. Mostly for security reasons, you want to have an air gap between your data center systems and your management systems. And that we offer also together with online installation, having a proxy inside the data center, which is then updated over the air. And finally, you can do a full offline installation. You need the full media for this. That is a huge media, of course. It's mostly intended not for an optical media, but for an USB disk or USB key or something like that. But with a full media, you can set up a system, be it a SUSE Linux Enterprise server or a desktop or something else, without any connection while you install. I call it the submarine approach because it's like sitting in a submarine and you have to install a system. Of course, on the right side of the slide, you see also listed the hybrid and image-based installation. That is typically something where every customer has some different setup. Sometimes they want to use it in a specific way because you are used to use it this way, so you should feel free to keep it this way. The hybrid is something many customers and partners using because they want to leverage the network connection they have, but they don't want to go internet, something like that. And some partners use image-based installation. And when it comes, of course, to cloud installation, then you want to run cloud images, which are much easier to scale than having an installation by installation every time. Part of the installation, of course, is later using and managing the system. And this is the theme of ease of use for you, which we figured out for SUSE Linux Enterprise 15. And when we ask our customers, so what can we give you to make it easier for you to work with SUSE? Then they told us, you know, with these packages in different modules, it's sometimes not that easy to find the right module. So we looked into this and we created a tool, an additional tool to the super search command to make sure you can search the SUSE universe to look if something is available. There's an example on the bottom of the page for the Chromium package, which is quite common for some web tools or so. So when you look for this, the tool tells you where it is, and to enable it, in this case, it is linked to the so-called package hub. And the package hub is something we did with 15 in a different way than with 12. So if you already know Package Hub, feel free to look into it again, because with 15 we improved it quite a bit. The idea of Package Hub is enterprise and community to bring this together. And that is the next big theme we have for 15. Make sure that we can mix and work together with community packages and enterprise packages in one system. The Package Hub we call enterprise meets community. The base idea is that there might be packages outside in the community, like in OpenSUSE Leap 15, you would like to use for your projects, because they are leading edge, they have some new additional tool. You might even work together with the community to improve this software, right? So, and with the Package Hub, we provide around 9,000 additional packages on top of the enterprise packages. All of these packages are maintained and supported by the community. What we at SUSE do is make it easy to get access, and together, SUSE Linux Enterprise 15 with a Package Hub, you get the same coverage as with a community packaging. Of course, there's not only community meets enterprise, we also have something we call community to enterprise. When you think about projects working with new software packages or so, and that is what customers and partners told us, the big problem is that a lot of projects starting with community Linux and uses, because it's easier to access, it looks more lightweight for the use and something like that. But there is a point where the project will be transformed into operations. And this handover is something with community to enterprise we make much easier than in the past, because you now can migrate an existing SUSE Linux, an existing OpenSUSE Leap system to a SUSE Linux Enterprise server. And that can be done in place without a need to reinstall, and that gives both the devs and the operations team both what they need. The developers can use community packages for their project to make the project fit to leading edge where needed, and the operation system get a stable core, that is SUSE Linux Enterprise, to make sure they have processes working, update experience is running well and smooth, and they know how to maintain, support, and secure these systems. What we also did with SUSE Enterprise 15 Service Pack 1 in this case was adding something we call the quarterly updates. The quarterly updates are checkpoints. It's not like a service pack or something like that. It's really that once a quarter we grab all the released updates and repackage the media and respin the media. The base idea is make it easier for you to install instead of installing an image you downloaded 6 months ago and then run a lot of updates. Just use the quarterly update and be on a specific state. Makes it much easier a lot for projects and teams to have something staged in the system without losing any opportunity to do some fine granular staging, for example, by SUSE Manager or something like that. And now to the last theme we had for SUSE Linux Enterprise 15, that is a transactional server. The transactional server we made available with the Service Pack 1, which is the current service pack of SUSE Linux Enterprise 15. The transactional server gives you a new and different update experience. You might have heard about transactional server by our container as a service platform product, where we already used this technology inside. Now we give it as a generic offering to our customers. The base idea of transactional server is to have a consistent root file system and have an update independent of the running system. When you think about a traditional update, you usually have a maintenance window where you shut down the services to update the services and then reboot or restart the services because the update might interfere with the running system. With a transactional update, we create a snapshot, install all the stuff into the new snapshot, and then once this is done, with a reboot, we restart this. So this is today called a technology preview. That is mostly because of so many different variances with a transactional server and packages available in SUSE Linux Enterprise Server that we can't make it a generic statement at the moment. Please feel free to come to us, tell us about your scenario, your workload, your use case, so that we can look into this and check with you if this is a scenario we can support and make it a good experience for you and for us together. All of this then is handled by a life cycle. And the SUSE Linux Enterprise life cycle is a 13 years total life cycle that is similar to what we have done with 12. Means we do a service pack every year around. We plan with 5 service packs, and after a service pack ended or at the end of the generic life cycle, we give a so-called long-term service pack support to you to give you a chance to keep the system running and stable and supported and move as you go to the next version. In this diagram, you see the green boxes for update path. So, of course, we offer you update path from each version to the next version, from a GA to Service Pack 1, Service Pack 1 to Service Pack 2, and so on. But we also plan with something we call skip a service pack. Means customers on GA version of SUSE Linux Enterprise 15 directly can go to SP2. From SP1, you can go to SP3 and something like that. This is similar to 12. Of course, in 12, you might see some additional migration paths as well. All of these were added based on customer input and demand. So if you see a different need, please tell us about so that we can learn about it and make sure that we fit your requirements and the market well. And together, this creates a roadmap just to list where we are currently. So I still have SUSE Linux Enterprise 11 on top of it. As you can see, SUSE Linux Enterprise 11 was generic end of support in 2019 last year. It's meanwhile in long-term service pack support phase. So in case you still run SUSE Linux Enterprise 11, I believe you are already on long-term service pack support. If not, you might think about getting this additional offering to make sure your systems are secure and updated and maintained well. At all, you should think about migrating to the next version. That could be either 12 or 15. As you can see, for SUSE Linux Enterprise 12, we have a Service Pack 5 released, and we are now looking forward to a generic end in 2024, so Service Pack 5 is the last service pack for 12. With 15, Service Pack 1 was released last summer. We are looking forward to the next service packs, and as listed before, we plan with 5 service packs for, as I said, a total of 13 years of life cycle. That brings us to the future. So when we look into this at the life cycle, you might ask, oh, and there's listed in 11, 12, and 15, so what comes after 15? And that mostly depends on you and your input, because what comes after a major code stream is a new major code stream. And a major code stream means a disruptive change, a different experience, a different setup, a different way to do stuff. We are looking into something for around 2022, and what we need to make sure this fits the market and your requirements is to get your input. What's needed, what can we do better, what might we do wrong today, what should be extended, in what way. And we will look into this input and then look into it. Is it something we could do as a service pack update for what we already have, or does it really is something disruptive that it needs a major code stream? However, there's something which is much more close to SUSE Linux Enterprise 15 today, and that is Service Pack 2, because that is pretty close. summer is coming, to say it this way. You might be interested in joining the public beta. The public beta is available as part of the beta program. It's about all architectures, all products. Feel free to check it out. Feel free to test it. Feel free to give us feedback to help you and us for a smooth transition from your installed system to a SUSE Linux Enterprise 15 Service Pack 2. Thank you very much for listening to this session. Feel free to contact your SUSE contact representative or contact me directly if you have any question. I will answer your question or forward your question to someone who can answer it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.